I decided to pick something a little more humble. Megamind! Incredibly handsome criminal genius and master of all villainy.
Megamind has been one of our favorite villains that we've ever had in a movie. And here's some fun secrets you probably missed in that movie. The movie is about a battle of good versus evil, but what if you don't have any good and just evil? Then evil's gonna wanna make something that's good to show us that evil is evil. But let's start off by looking at the hero, Metro Man. He likes rockabilly music, which is what Elvis was known for creating. He even dances to one of Elvis's songs. And his hairdo resembles Elvis's hairdo. And he has fans crying over him, just like Elvis did. And get this, he was a hero, but now he wants to retire and go into the music industry. Elvis was also a hero. He served in our military for a few years before retiring from the military to go on to making music. Only Elvis sounded way better. But another superhero that we see referenced in the movie is Superman. Superman was saving an airplane. And if you look in the museum, Metro Man caught a plane. Superman also left his family in a spacecraft only to land on Earth, just like Megamind and Metro Man.
And our glorious rivalry was born.
And Metro Man pretended only to have one weakness, copper. Just like Superman only had one weakness, and that was kryptonite. Only Superman wasn't faking it. And his lady friend works for the Daily Planet, or this news company. Also, one night he flew up to the balcony to meet his girl, only it ended much differently for Superman than it did for Trident. The only difference here is Superman had a secret identity, with some cool glasses, and that's partly how he kept his sanity. And we find out that Metro Man wants to throw in the towel and let his entire city burn because he doesn't have a secret identity to maintain his sanity. Superman also resides in the city Metropolis, and Megaman resides in the city Metro City. Come on, it's like the same thing. Almost. They also give a shout out to Jesus with Metro Man walking on the water, even though Peter could also walk on the water. So I'm not impressed, Metro Man. Also, he's not actually walking on the water, he's simply flying on top of the water. Another superhero that we see reference to is Iron Man. What? I said Iron Man. That's right, the guy that saved the entire universe. When making the movie, their first choice of Megamind was going to be none other than Robert Downey Jr., who plays as Iron Man. But he couldn't play the character because he was obviously way super busy. And another movie that came out the same year as Megamind was Iron Man 2. And just like in Megamind, Iron Man 2 has a hero inside a suit. And I know that Megamind's iron suit looks more like the Omnidroid from The Incredibles, but some earlier designs for Megamind's robot actually did resemble the Iron Man suit like a lot. Iron Man also has his own version of Obama's Yes We Can poster, and Megamind has his own version of Obama's Yes We Can poster that his says, no you can't. However, since they couldn't use Robert Downey Jr., they settled for Will Ferrell to play as Megamind. And to make sure that they didn't hurt the little guy's feelings, they gave him an Easter egg too. When Megamind is back in prison watching TV, he's flipping the channel and we see Channel 8 News talking about a squirrel water skiing. If you have a weird sense of humor and you actually enjoyed Anchorman, then you may remember Will Ferrell was Ron Burgundy on Channel 4 News, and he reported on a squirrel water skiing. Insert laugh track.
You don't need me?
Let me make it clear. Code, I don't need you.
Emotional damage!
You may have heard or even watched Cobra Kai on Netflix, but if you are old school, you may remember Karate Kid, and the two main characters for that are Daniel LaRusso and Mr. Miyagi. And in Megamind's lair, you can see he has a picture of these two, even though the Karate Kid is blacked out. Another classic besides Karate Kid was Donkey Kong, and I'm not talking about this Donkey Kong, which I spent plenty of time slapping the ground looking for those Nintendo letters. No, I'm talking about the original Donkey Kong, where you had to climb up all these weird shelves while there was a maniac monkey at the top throwing barrels at you, and you had to jump over them in order to not die. So they did the same thing in Megamind, only increased the challenge where you have to jump over burning barrels, and the minion is even in a monkey suit at the top throwing the barrels. Sometimes movies don't keep true to the rules that they set in their own universe, which makes the movie stink. Megamind actually sticks to its rules though, making it an even better movie than it would have been. If you notice, when Megamind transforms into Bernard, he still sounds like himself and not like Bernard.
Oh, yes.
Well, that's because they don't break their own rules. In order to sound like the Warden, his watch had to record the Warden's voice.
I'll always be a villain.
And then scan the Warden to get his looks. But when Megamind is panicking to look like Bernard, he didn't have time to record his voice, he just had time to scan the body. That's why he only looks like Bernard, but he doesn't sound like Bernard. Then if you remember in Wreck-It Ralph, we have graffiti Easter eggs. Well, we have graffiti Easter eggs in this movie too. Here we see Gibbs tagged on the wall. Well, Jonathan Gibbs is the city development supervisor for this movie. Another one would be right here on Megamind's secret hideout. In the secret entrance it says Kilroy was here. Now this is a popular meme, but this meme actually has been around long before the internet. It was even around in World War II, where American troops would write this meme all over the place to encourage other troops when they go through the same area to know that they had friends that passed through that area. And it was also to intimidate the enemy, so the enemy would know that, hey, the enemy's enemy was also here. Speaking of the enemy, we find out that the real villain was Titan, or Hal Stewart. But they gave us a very big hint that he was going to be the bad guy before he decided to be the bad guy. Besides the fact that he constantly pushed unwanted advances on Roxanne Ritchie.
Wow, that's certainly very tempting, but
I did hire a wedding photographer.
If you watch when Megamind and Minion go to Hal's apartment to see him transform into their hero, if you look on his bed, he has the book, The Best Comic Book Villains Ever. Hint, hint, hint. But then also when Megamind steals a bunch of stuff, one of the things that he steals is the Ark of the Covenant. And if you don't know what that is, then you obviously either didn't read your Bible or watch Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark, because it was in there too. Here's a little detail you might have missed that's not necessarily an Easter egg, but it's really funny once you see it. In the jailbreak scene, when the guards are running after the Warden thinking that he's Megamind, the prisoner that they were playing cards with actually steals money that they were gambling with. If you're a fan of X-Men, then you may have realized that the prison is for the criminally gifted, and the school is also a gifted school for little gifted kids. Now this is very similar to Xavier's school for gifted kids, where he trained superheroes, or villains. Then what's with the Chinese takeout boxes? This isn't Pixar. And what are they even doing? The boxes aren't even open. And there's nothing on the chopsticks. And why is his eyes even closed? And the dumbest couple of the year award goes to these idiots. If you didn't watch all the credits, then that means you probably missed this golden Easter egg of a post-credit scene. Here you go.
I'm going off the rails on a crazy... Sir, you really need to empty your pockets more often.
Oh, this has been the worst day of my entire life.
Oh, no worries.
Alright, gents and gentlemen, let me know what movie you want to talk about next, and your comment could be featured in the next video. But until our next adventure, remember most importantly of all, share a smile. They are contagious. If you don't want to share a smile,
No worries.
Okay, Minion, you were right. I was less right.